The last time you bought a concert ticket, Ticketmaster added roughly 28% in fees on top of the price you saw. On a pair of $100 tickets, that's $56 gone. And a brand new Senate investigation just revealed it's way worse than anyone thought. Today I'm breaking down exactly how Ticketmaster's fee machine works, how much it's really costing you, and why the government settlement might actually make things worse. Okay, so here's why this video exists right now. On March 9, 2026, the Department of Justice announced a settlement with Live Nation, that's Ticketmaster's parent company. This came after a massive antitrust trial that was supposed to break them up. Instead, they got a deal. A $280 million fine, which sounds big until you realize that's about 4 days of Live Nation's revenue. 4 days. They'll make that back before the ink dries. But it gets worse. Just 1 week later, the Senate dropped a report called, and I'm not making this up, so casually cruel. Named after a Taylor Swift lyric, because this whole mess started when millions of Swifties couldn't buy Eras tour tickets in 2022. That Senate investigation reviewed over 112,000 pages of internal documents. And what they found is that Ticketmaster didn't just charge high fees, they built an entire system designed to make those fees invisible, unavoidable, and constantly growing. And this is the part they really don't want you to see. Let's break down what actually happens when you buy a ticket on Ticketmaster. You see a price, let's say $100. Looks reasonable, right? But then at checkout, here's what gets added. First, a service fee. This is the big one. According to a government accountability report, service fees alone add 27 to 31% to your ticket price. On our $100 ticket, that's up to $31 extra. Then there's a facility charge set by the venue. Ticketmaster says they don't keep any of it. But here's the thing, Ticketmaster negotiates these fees into their venue contracts. They literally help set the number they claim isn't theirs. Then you might get hit with a delivery fee for digital tickets. You're downloading a file to your phone, and they charge you for it. And finally, order processing fees, a flat $5 or $6 per order. Stack all of this up, and according to multiple analyses, the average Ticketmaster buyer pays 28% in fees on top of the face value. That $100 ticket? Now it's $128. Buy 4 tickets for your family? That's over $500 for what was supposed to be $400. Now you might be thinking, just don't use Ticketmaster. Use someone else. And that's where the monopoly kicks in. According to the Senate report, Ticketmaster controls roughly 80% of the US concert ticketing market. 80%. They lock venues into exclusive contracts, sometimes for 10 years or more. The report found that in one 2022 agreement, Ticketmaster secured 90% of all concert resale fee revenue for a full decade. So the venue can't switch. The artist can't switch. And you? You can either pay Ticketmaster's fees, or you can stay home. Their own CEO, Michael Rapino, was caught in internal messages from 2016 saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, that their fees are too high and they can't defend them. That was 10 years ago. The fees have only gone up since. But here's where it gets even more ridiculous. In May 2025, the FTC's junk fees rule went into effect. This rule said, hey, you have to show the full price up front. No more surprise fees at checkout. Ticketmaster publicly celebrated this. They said they've always supported all-in pricing. They even joined the White House initiative on junk fees back in 2023. Sounds great, right? Well, The Guardian just got their hands on internal venue documents, and what they found is incredible. Ticketmaster didn't absorb the fees. They didn't reduce them. They just moved them around. Here's exactly what happened. They eliminated the flat order processing fee, that $5 or $6 charge. Victory, right? Except they then raised the per ticket service fee by $2. And for premium and VIP tickets, buyer fees jumped to 18%. In a letter to one venue, Ticketmaster literally wrote, and this is from the actual document, that because the processing fee would be eliminated, they needed to adjust other fees to, quote, maintain revenue parity. Revenue parity. That means they engineered the new fee structure to collect the exact same amount of money. The packaging changed. The total didn't. It's like a restaurant removing a bread charge and then raising every entree price by $2. You're paying the same, you just can't see it as clearly. And across more than 24 venues The Guardian examined, the same pattern repeated. Different labels, same money flowing to the same place. So let's put real numbers on this. Say you go to 3 concerts a year. That's pretty average for someone in their 20s or 30s. You buy 2 tickets each time, one for you, one for a friend or partner. Average face value ticket these days is around $120. At 28% in fees, you're paying about $34 in fees per ticket. 6 tickets a year, that's over $200 a year just in Ticketmaster fees. Over 10 years? That's over $2,000. And that's before we even talk about dynamic pricing, where Ticketmaster jacks up the face value in real time based on demand. The Senate report found that Ticketmaster's gross transaction value rose 164% from 2017 to 2023, while their revenue rose 203%. That means their take grew faster than the underlying ticket prices. They found ways to extract more from every single transaction. And here's what makes it even worse for families. Under the old system, that flat processing fee was per order. $5 whether you bought 1 ticket or 4. Now it's baked into each ticket's service fee. So a family of 4 actually pays more under the new system than they did before the so-called transparency reform. Now let's talk about this DOJ settlement that was supposed to fix everything. Here's what Live Nation agreed to. Cap service fees at 15%. Divest 13 amphitheater booking agreements. Let venues distribute up to 50% of tickets through competing platforms. And pay $280 million. Sounds good on paper. But let me show you why consumer advocates are furious. First, the $280 million goes to state governments, not to you. There are no refunds to consumers in this deal. Second, more than 24 states have refused to accept the settlement. They wanted Live Nation broken up entirely. The federal judge on the case hasn't even approved it yet, saying the way it was announced showed, his words, disrespect for the court. Third, and this is the big one, the 15% fee cap? Ticketmaster already showed us what they do with fee caps. They just move the money somewhere else. If service fees are capped at 15%, expect facility charges, venue fees, and ticket face values to mysteriously increase. The total you pay won't change. It'll just have different labels. Okay, so what can you actually do about this? First, buy directly from the venue box office whenever possible. Many venues still sell tickets at the window with 0 service fees. It takes more effort, but it can save you 20 to 30%. Second, check if the artist uses alternatives. Some artists now distribute through platforms like Dice or their own fan clubs with lower or no fees. Noah Kahan's 2026 tour, for example, uses Ticketmaster's face value exchange, which caps resale at the original price and eliminates resale fees. Third, if you bought tickets between May 2022 and May 2025, you may be eligible for the federal class action lawsuit against Ticketmaster. This is separate from the DOJ settlement and could result in actual refunds, potentially $50 to over $1,000 depending on how much you spent. Check the link in the description. Fourth, join your state's effort. If you're in one of the states that rejected the DOJ settlement, your Attorney General may be pursuing stronger action. Let them know this matters to you. And fifth, the simplest one, always check the full price before you commit. Ticketmaster now has to show all-in pricing, so use it. Compare across platforms. Sometimes the same show is cheaper through AXS or the venue directly. Look, Ticketmaster's own CEO admitted their fees are indefensible. The Senate called their behavior casually cruel. And the so-called solution might just rearrange the same charges under different names. If you want to see how another company is pulling the exact same playbook, go watch our video on how buy now pay later apps trap you in debt. Links on screen right now. And if this video made you angry, good. Drop your worst Ticketmaster story in the comments. I read every single one. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next company we expose. See you in the next one.